So now that you have your method sent to the instrument and the instrument is started and warming up, we're going to go ahead and make our batch. So you can select in the Acquisition tab, Quick Batch. And then from here, go ahead and you can add rows for all of the samples that you believe you're going to be running. This is going to be set up as if we're running the 3 calibration curve injections as well as the 0.4 standard injection with the unknowns. So we're going to go ahead and input it as if we're running this method. The first 2 injections are going to be from vial 1, and that's your 0.1% ethanol standard. How you name the ID and how you name any of the samples is really just so you know what you're running, and you can go back into the data processing stage and know which vial, which injection stands for which vial. So make sure that you select the desired method for each vial. This is how the vial is going to be measured. So all of the parameters that were set in the method file are going to be chosen during each injection. So the first 2 lines are going to be 2 repeated injections of the first vial. And this is an example of the first injection will be used as a conditioning injection, so the column can get more used to seeing that analyte. And then we're going to omit that first peak, that first injection, and just look at the second injection. So we're going to continue by doing this process for 0.1 twice, 0.5 twice, 1% twice, and then we're going to follow, after having the calibration curve ran, we're going to run the 0.4% ethanol standard twice, as well as any unknowns twice each. We have the ability of having 6 vials, so we're going to set up 12 injections. If you're a student and you're only running the 0.4% ethanol standard and any unknowns, then your batch table won't look as full as this one will. This one is also going to be showing how to do the calibration curve, and that will not always be necessary. So we're going to continue adding all these vials into here. For the calibration curve, you want to make sure that the level is 1, because that's going to reflect the level 1 calibration. And also make sure you change your sample type and update your method file. So after this is done for your calibration curve, then we can make the actual injection lines for the standards. So if you're running student data, you're really only going to need lines 7 through 12, potentially, depending on how many unknowns you're going to be running. The first 2 will be the 0.4% ethanol standards. And again, we're doing each injection twice, so that way we can omit the first data and just consider the second set of data, as the first is only used to condition the column. So now we have our unknowns, and these unknowns are at 0.4% based on whatever the label claim of your unknown is. So you want to make sure that these will get ran and you ignore the first injection and just look at the second injection. And then after all of this is ready, then you'll be able to save this batch. And then you can save it inside your folder. Wherever you want to save it, and just name it accordingly. Any name works as long as you can tell which one it is. So go ahead, save that. And now that your batch is done, you can go ahead and start. And by selecting start, this will tell the instrument we don't need to specify the calibration curve right now, but now we're going to send this to the instrument and waiting for the next step in the process, where we have to go ahead and make sure that our auto sampler is fully ready to go. And from there, it will automatically start and run each of these injections individually.